were missing all the tackles. Individually, James Roby for Saints was one of the standouts on the stats. 1 try, 54 tackles, 10 marker tackles. Zeb Taylor 132 metres. World's Golden Boot winner, Tommy Makinson, 127 metres. And Alex Walmsley made a fantastic return to Super League action. 5 tackle bus, 115 metres from
Welcome
him.
back.
For the losing side...
Welcome back.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's all right. Welcome back for every game for the next however many. He's got 3 months.
Beat everyone else up now, Alex, please. For the losing side, Wigan, Liam Marshall with a try, 174 metres, 2 clean breaks. Obviously, half of that 174 metres came on that breakaway try. Zach Hardacre, 10 tackle bus, 138 metres. Sam Powell, 1 try assist, 58 tackles. And Dan Sargentson, 5 tackle bus and 111 metres. My main take on this, I suppose, is it didn't help Wigan's cause that we gave Saints an early gift of a try through the knock-on and weak tackling to let Nguama in. Saints in that opening 20 minutes or so were well on top, really. Probably bombed some chances. There was one play in particular that I can think of where Lomax made a really bad choice passing to the short runner, which I think was Peru, with gaping holes out of the back, really. I think if Richardson had been pulling the strings rather than Lomax and Farge, I think Saints would have taken more than a 12-point lead at that stage of the game, to be completely honest and to be critical there. Great credit to Wigan, I felt, at the time for coming back to half-time, because it felt like we were a million miles off Saints after 20-25 minutes. But in the end, the better side did win. Maybe the 2-score margin flattered Saints a bit, but they definitely took their chances better in the second half. That's kind of what was the difference, really. Two final points from me on this one before we get more sort of chatty about it and go through the fan reviews and stuff. Is that Saints were basically, they were playing a lot wider of the ruck in this game, especially when Thompson and Walmsley weren't on the field. And I think that made them a little bit more an exciting watch than Wigan as well, and pulled some of the Wigan defenders out of position for things to happen, like the Lomax try with the Peru run back on the inside. Wigan looks to have... We've got a bit of work to do on our timing in attack, really. Hardacre played well, but quite often I felt like he was possibly on the wrong side of the play when Wigan had opportunities to strike. Certainly.
Do you think that's just something that will grow as he gets used to his teammates and works out where he fits in?
Hopefully, it's a timing thing, but with Wigan as well, with Wigan's halfbacks, to me, there's always a question mark over whether there's a direction issue as well there, because they're not the most vocal organisers, aren't Luluai and Williams, and so I wonder if there's a bit of work to do on their communication.
Yeah.
Side of things there, because he often seemed on the wrong side of the play when Wigan had opportunities. That meant that, to me, Saints always seemed to have an extra defender. Maybe all the missed tackles that St Helens had weren't capitalised on by Wigan either because of that. And I think that will come from Wigan. I think both Hardacre and in particular Bullock impressed on their competitive debuts for the club, though. So Joe Bullock came out of it with a lot of credit for me. But if I was gonna sort of talk about the star players, though, it's hard for me to look past Roby as a star man. I know Farge got the Sky man of the match. I was a bit confused by that, if I'm honest. I don't think he was. I can't remember more than maybe one or two occasions where he really put himself into the play. Walmsley has got to get some love, though, hasn't he, for what he did on his first game back for almost a year. And then maybe if I was picking out a couple of highlights, Lomax for Saints, that try where Peru came on that inside run, and then Lomax was supporting. I think that was a really well worked play by the Saints, and it really picked on, Joe Greenwood's a big guy. Yeah. It's hard for him to change directions once he's going one way. So that's something to watch out for Wigan. If they lose a man at the ruck, like they lost Ben Flower in that play, then that's going to be something other teams will pick up on. But Marshall's try for Wigan as well, what a fantastic
It was a lovely, exactly what
Marshall.
I wrote down on my notes was what a brilliant pick, and to be fair, I think it was a try the other way if he hadn't caught it.
Oh, totally, yeah. He was outnumbered, definitely. Maybe some of that decision making and timing isn't quite there with Saints either. It was Kutu through that pass, wasn't it? But the maybe the main highlight from the whole game for me was defensive line speed for both of the teams, kind of near their opponent's lines as well, was really good. There was one particular spell for Saints around the hour mark, but that if it was Wigan who delivered it, I'd be really, talking about how fantastic it was. So I want to call that out as a highlight moment or a highlight spell in the game as well for what led to Saints winning the game. Sadly.
There we go.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had anything to add to that.
Not particularly, no. Just it was quite a good game to watch, really. I sort of came in from the pub. It was 12-all when I started watching, so I think they just levelled it up. And by the time I got in, it was just a great game to watch, really, and I enjoyed that. Again, as you said, Roby going to Roby, as always, and Alex Walmsley is, I think, the other big story that you need to talk about in this one. For just what he did and the fact you wouldn't have thought if you were watching it blind that he had been out and you didn't have the commentary on to hear every 5 seconds that he had been out for a year. You would have thought he was the mainline prop who'd been playing every game.
He did a decent stint as well, didn't he, really, in the first half? Yeah.
Well, props are going to have to now. Now there's less changes.
I mean, that was an interesting thing to see. Ben Flower played about 50 minutes or something before he went off, and I saw in other games this weekend there was a similar theme. Scotty Taylor did it, which he's done before as well for Hull FC, and Luke Thompson played long minutes for St Helens actually as well in this game in the first half. Yeah, that'll be an interesting one to follow. Let's fan views it then.
Yeah, Carsten says Saints on fire from the start, but Wigan got lucky because Cootie, that is the world's worst nickname, still had a jet lag in the first half and could level the game. Regan scored with amazing grace, as always, and the Roby scored on his way to the Man of Steel to get the win. Zach Hardacre hit a line and ended up with white stuff up his nose. Hashtag as usual.
Yeah, he put himself about, didn't he, and took the knocks for that. Yeah, Gracie's finish was fantastic. His knock on that came earlier though, shows that there's still stuff to work on for the youngster, but his finish was absolutely outstanding. Thin Girl Roberta. Now, if you're gonna do a parody, make us chuckle with it, I think, and this one definitely achieves that. Once again, the anti-Wigan bias cost the best team in Super League 2 points, and then 2 points. My bloke says he's a Cass fan, but even he has to mask his love for Wigan with a lot of fake I hate Wigan tweeting, though I suspect he actually splits his love between me, Cass, Wigan and Leeds. I suspect not, Thin Girl Roberta.
Paul over in PAB 1976 says Super League is back. Great start from Saints, only for Wigan to pull themselves back into the game. Saints just about deserved the win, and a typical Roby try to win it. Game seemed faster and less stoppages. I definitely noticed that. If not on this game, on the derby the night after. And long may it continue. Yeah,
it did. It did seem like the shot clocks were working. Not necessarily in terms of players. Maybe players haven't learned to take advantage of them yet. I just think players were more conscious of getting the ball back into play faster in instances like that. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, definitely. All the games ended, around about an hour and 45 minutes after they kicked off, which is decent. Loro2108 said, Hardacre and Bullock promising. Lamb has a lot of work to do in the halves. Hamlin, I'm not seeing it yet. Marshall can fly. Overall, decent performance.
Wakey White says, great game to open the most anticipated season in years. Feared the worst when Saints went into the early 12-point lead, but credit to Wigan, they dug in and came back and made a real game of it. Thought Farge was excellent, as was Zach the Vac for Wigan. Mm-hmm. And how about a Thursday game finishing at 9:30? Viva la shot clock.
There also weren't a lot of video referee referrals.
2, I think, wasn't it?
And there was only the one real injury as well, wasn't there? Tony Clubb's head knock on his first tackle on the pitch, which unfortunately ruled him out with concussion. So
Tony getting clubbed. Yeah.
It was just a simple face-to-face one, weren't it? It didn't even seem that violent at the time, but obviously...
I don't know, he'd gone by the time I got in.
Yeah.
Been at a leaving do, came in, half an hour in.
You could have blinked and you'd have missed him on the field, unfortunately for him. Tom Eckley said, great game to start the season, really set a good tone for what's to come. On top of this, the Sky production value feels much improved, as well as the social media work being brilliant. The promotional clips from the promotional clips to Wolfie making a cameo genuinely feels like we're finally reaching the 21st century. Just need RL's perennially cheerful fans to back this new system.
Yeah. What on earth was the Wolfie thing going on?
Spygate.
Yeah.
It was a play on, obviously, the big news story in football around the Championship with apparently Leeds United sending someone off to sort of film people's training sessions so that they can sort of get an extra insight into what's going on there. So it was just a bit of a joke on that, weren't it? But I think it played out well. It got the sort of social media reaction that it wanted, and hopefully it's the sort of thing, these silly but not ridiculous stunts that can maybe get outside the existing bubble that we operate in.
Who knows? Whatever next. I think, which mascot would you like to see at your game? Tweet us in. There we go. Shoddy and Mungo said, decent game and all that, but what really matters is the co-host will lead the presenter tipping comp for the first time in ages at the end of round 1.
Yeah, well done, Al. Fatboy_Rob said, champs beat cheats. I don't understand. What did Tom Andrews say?
Tom Andrews said, great end-to-end game to open the season. New shot clock did seem to speed the game up. Nice to see KR still have the best Greenwood. I'd say Bruce is the best Greenwood, though.
Bruce Greenwood?
Actor. Was in the Star Trek films.
Well, you've lost me. John Hamilton says, Saints started like they had a couple of weeks off rather than 4 months. Hopefully they don't improve much from here. Wigan were a bit clunkier in attack and took a while to get into their stride, but largely showed familiar defensive integrity. Hope they don't improve much either. Cracking season opener, best I can remember for a long time. Yeah, I think the neutrals surely would have enjoyed this one. You can comment more on that.
Yeah, I definitely found it quite enjoyable to watch. And again, back to the pace of the game, it kept me in, because I think a lot of the time when it's not my team, I have a tendency to switch off probably around the 60-minute mark, even if not physically, then mentally. But this kept me watching right till the end, and I was carrying on watching, thinking, hang on, it's not time to finish yet. What's going on?
Yeah, St. David said, yes! Both sides will play better, but this was a cracking match for week 1. Saints were the better team and deserved the win, with the key being execution in the opposition 20. Of the new Saints boys, Coote was particularly good, both in defence and in linking the attack left and right. Man of the match, Varge handled Greenwood well and was a threat with the ball all night. Great to see Big Al back too. Onwards. Yeah, Coote did most of the kicking, which was interesting. But yeah, he put up some high bombs. Wigan were equal to them all, luckily.
Paul Chamberlain said, good game played at a good pace and intensity.
You're lacking pace and intensity, Tim.
I am lacking pace and intensity, as always. While I could never be accused of having pace. Whilst St Helens look stacked, Greenwood, Hardacre, Bullock and Hamlin suggest that Wigan will have enough to overcome their departures and be competitive. Saints' excitement at 1 win shows they are early favourites to retain the Cass Bottle of the Year award.
Yeah.
Shout out to Coote's 1960s style boots, although I was disappointed that Niguama had trimmed his flat top.
Well, you gotta work these things, haven't you? You gotta sort of style them and let them flourish. You don't want to be at your top hair game in round 1, do you? You want to be peaking
magic
from the crunch time, yeah.
There you go. So that's that game sorted.
Yeah, it's on to game 2, Tim. What have you got to tell us about that?
So that was the Hull Derby, played at KCOM Craven Park, or whatever it's called nowadays, where Hull KR finished victorious, 18 points to 16, in front of 12,100, a new record for the ground. And Ben Failer was our man with the whistle, who I didn't notice a lot, I have to say. So I think generally had quite a good game. In terms of the stats, Hull FC were unable to take advantage of their 7.5% better team tackle success rate. No team last year had that bigger tackle success rate win and lost the game. They also made a 6-2 clean break win, but still lost. Hull KR had more carries and made